Okay, so some of you would probably like to know what I'm doing. I'm December 27th, 2024. I'm in the country of Israel, and I'm in the city of Jerusalem, and I'm washing my clothes. I'm down by the Mahena Yehuda market, and I wanted to show this because some of you might get a kick out of knowing where I'm at. It's, as you can see, there's well, I don't know what to say about Israel. It's kind of an interesting country. And today I'm going to talk about the geopolitical development and high development, low development. What is going on in the world of travel internationally? And I've been in 115 countries. I've been doing this for 26 plus years. And good morning. And you can see that I'm in the country of Israel, but I'm going to go back into the laundry because I just was trying to help you guys have some fun that actually have some awareness of the world. Okay, and I want to talk about developed and highly developed and lowly developed countries and all the different names for this, okay? And I'm in a laundry and I'm kind of laughing. I have on my shorts and it's 42 degrees out, okay? But I finally decided that this was a good place to make a video because I want you to know what real life is unedited. Okay, so 40 degrees Fahrenheit. The reason a little bit why this is hotter, colder is because it's at 700 meters high, about 2,500 feet elevation. So we went up in the air. So Jerusalem and all this area here is kind of mountainous. And when I'm going to go live, today's the 27th of December. And in, let's see, January 2nd, I'm going to move to Bethlehem, which is in the West Bank, okay? And they're always telling you not to go in the West Bank, but the Israelis won't go in the West Bank, although the people in the West Bank will come over to the to like Jerusalem and all these places. It's kind of a one-way street. They come over, but the Israelis won't go over there. I guess everybody's been indoctrinated in I don't know. It's like I don't know. It's just kind of funny. But I've already been to Bethlehem. And on Sunday, I'm going with this French woman from Bordeaux, basically. We speak a mélange de langues. We speak like two different languages, sometimes French, sometimes English. But we're going to take a tour of the West Bank area with a taxi, and she's paying for it, which is really nice. And we're going to go to, I don't know, Jericho, different places. And, you know, in a way, the people in the West Bank are kind of like, it's kind of like the low caste in India. They're the only ones that are free to do anything they want to. It's like Thailand. The only people that are the women that are only totally free are the women that are prostitutes, and because they can do anything they want to do. A lot of times, this is the way the world works: is that the low caste has the most freedom on the planet. Okay, but today I'm in a military-controlled country. That is controlled, I think, by the ascetic or whatever, these ultra-Orthodox Jewish people, and it's a combination of the military controlling this and the it feels like New York development projects, right? There's a constant crane situation here where they're building, and they're probably everybody you can get a scholarship to immigrate here, and then that's perfect for this is absolutely a dream thing for a developer. And all the buildings look almost the same, guys. There's very little deviation from the building. It's which makes you feel like it's like one of the countries like Turkey, or there's different countries where you feel like, well, like Ukraine. When I was in Ukraine, it was very obvious that the Russians did building in a certain sort of socialist way. This is not really just a democratic nation where anything goes. It's really as an Israeli. Okay, this is a Jewish nation, as Pakistan is a Muslim country, okay? And this is by legal thing. What's great is if you're a Christian or you're a Muslim or anything, or an ultra-Orthodox Jewish person, you don't have to go into fighting. Okay, so this is kind of weird, right? There's no equality here for conscription or getting drafted, if you, whatever. So it's humorous to me because all these double standards, okay? And one of the gentlemen I asked, I'm on a venture to witness what's going on in Israel, okay? And so what I'm doing here is I've decided that I shall ask everybody I get near to why they believe that the Palestine people are angry at the Israelis. And then when I'm in Bethlehem, I'll ask the Palestine people, and I'll keep putting up shorts, okay? And I'll be putting it on my main channel for the most part. My main Andy Global Citizen, 100 countries, 26 years of travel, or something like that. Okay, but I'm going to put shorts, and I'm going to keep interviewing, and then some people that won't interview it. I was kind of upset. Zach the other day said that he's an Israeli, and he said that maybe they did it on purpose, as like a false flag to try to cause this. And this is an argument. Okay, but to me, I'm going to try to describe this country. I'm in a military-controlled, directed by the Jewish synagogue and the New York City developers. Okay, it is obvious that the developers here are running this country for the most part. There is a tourist trap country. There's incredibly difficult to travel here unless you speak Jewish or your thing. Even when I came here, they were asking me who I knew here and why I was coming here. And the reasons to come here that are valid, if you want to know, is just that you can say that you're a Christian coming to the Holy Land, and then it's a very high-end, made-to-make-money tourist trap mentality. And the old city is horrible for anybody that can't walk. So if you're over about 45 and you're even slightly fat or have any kind of trouble walking 3 or 4 miles, do not come here. Okay. But it's specially made for tourism. It's a high-end tourist thing, kind of like the Vatican in Rome. I haven't been there. They had zero. Everybody thinks what's happening, but I'm getting to the point. I'm going to try to explain what's going on in travel worldwide. And I'm in one of the 25th most developed country on the planet, and I want to show you the place. Does this look like the United States? Does it look like the laundromat in the United States? Maybe in New York City or some sort of Mexican barrio. They didn't have any celebration at all for Christmas. They have very little celebration for Hanukkah. I'm in the most holy of all holy lands. It's the place where everybody, in my opinion, is fighting over a piece of territory that has very little value. The country is not a desert, okay? It's more or less hilly for the most part, and they seem to have a lot of very good farmland. But I've only done the main middle part of the country. Okay, I haven't gone down to Eliat, Eliat, down by the water there. I haven't gone over to the Dead Sea, and I think there may be some deserts over there. But the Gaza Strip would be, in my opinion, a pretty good place to have to live because they have access to the Mediterranean Sea. And that's extremely valuable because transportation determines the land value. And so they got transportation and access to Egypt. They got transportation to the Mediterranean. They got transportation to do different places because of boats. Okay, well, most of Israel is sort of landlocked. They don't seem to care at all about Sundays, which is very weird because even the Muslim countries, when I'm in a Muslim country, they're celebrating both Fridays and Sundays. They get off both days. They basically don't work Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But today, here, they work Sundays. Okay, but Shabbat, which is the holy day, starts about 4 o'clock on Friday, and absolutely everything closes in Jerusalem, and so you have to buy stuff. So today's Friday, so I have to go buy a bunch of stuff to have some food for tomorrow, and it's really the most boring time I've ever seen. They do seem to have a lot of drinking. They grow a lot of wine. I'm really trying hard to go find some olive trees. That would be really the funnest thing for me to do. Uh, Very difficult to take a shower here. Very difficult to wash your clothes. Very difficult to walk around. It's got pretty good public transport, which is economical. The public transport is economical. It's not easy to understand because everything's in Hebrew, so that's why I call it a tourist trap. A tourist trap is where they keep maneuvering everything until the point where you only have one choice: pay a shitload of money, and you're there. But what's going on in the world? Uh, uh, that's my wash machine making noise on rinse cycle. The police are everywhere here, and they're friendly. And the people walking around with rifles and guns are everywhere. So the military is ever present, but it's not as much as it was when I was here in 2004. If you get out of the tourist areas, get outside the tourist bubbles, like I went to hoboontheroad next to the Gaza Strip the other day, there's a lot more military, okay? Because they kind of, they make a bubble of tourism for Tel Aviv, and Tel Aviv is extremely difficult for finding anything, but paying a lot of money. The police are safe here, which is good, which is different than, okay, like Togo. One of the reasons why I like to go to Togo is because the president of the country is the billionaire, and the dictator, the owner of the country. And I think there's owners of this country, and they're making a lot of money. Therefore, they don't need to have corruption to collect money from their people. Like Ghana, in Ghana, they don't make that much money, so therefore the police are very dangerous. And but this reminds me a lot of Tibet or Cambodia, okay, where everything's fine as long as you don't complain, okay. One of my friends warned me the other day. He says they actually are not afraid to arrest you in Israel for being a journalist. But let's talk about the world in general now. What's going on in the world in general? Okay, what you really want to know, if you want to know what is safe and not safe, and what is development and not developed, is you want to know the top 10 countries where journalists have been killed. They're saying number one is Palestine territory, and they're wrong there, and they're misdirecting this. They're saying that the Palestine journalists have been killed. No, they were killed because of bombs, not because of corruption. Okay, so I don't really consider that a thing. I mean, if you're dumb enough to be in Palestine while they're getting bombed, you're going to get killed, right? Mexico, which is, I'm always warning people, Mexico journalists are always at risk. Okay, it's one of the countries with the most amount of killings of journalists on the planet. Pakistan, which means it's a Muslim country where they don't tolerate anybody saying anything that's not along the Islamic line. Russia, I don't really know Russia that well. I want to go to Russia next summer, maybe. I will tell you, I did set up a GoFundMe page, and you can find it in my description, for my trip to Nigeria, because that's one of my blocking countries, and it's actually a country that I'm very worried about. I really would be more nervous going to to Nigeria than I will going to Russia. I don't have any fear of going to Russia because it's a highly developed country, and there's kind of the rule of law. Bangladesh is considered where they kill people. Ukraine, again, they're probably mixing up getting killed by bombs with actual corruption. What you want to be worried about is corruption. India is always a problem. India is just a difficult country, but the freedom of the press is not there. Iraq, I agree. Myanmar or Burma, they call it, when you get there to Burma, they don't call it Myanmar, they call it Burma. That's the country right next to Thailand. Somalia, and I don't know much about Somalia. It's just close to Kenya. I really would like to go to Somalia, and I'd like to go to Afghanistan. I was planning on going to Afghanistan. I was doing research to come in from the north to go to Afghanistan before Biden made it very dangerous by giving them all those weapons. Okay, so Israel is number 25 on the Human Development Index. And I'll tell you which countries are the top. And this is kind of a woke thing. This is the United Nations. The United Nations is like a bunch of poor countries voting themselves money. Okay, but Switzerland's top, Norway, Iceland, Hong Kong, which is I don't consider very developed. Denmark, Sweden. Ireland is way up there. Number 8 is Germany, which is a highly developed country. Singapore, which I do not consider a highly developed country. Netherlands, yeah, it's a very neutral, high. Australia is number 11. United States, let me skip down, is number 20th. But most of this stuff is bullshit. Okay, it's nothing to do with reality. And what you should do is read the Human Development Index to try to figure out how expensive. What they're doing is they're basically outlining the most expensive. The more you pay, the higher development, which is just insanity. Okay, that means that. Like right now, I'm doing my own laundry because it's too expensive. So the quality of my life is 10 times worse in Switzerland or Hong Kong. Well, Hong Kong's not that bad. Denmark. But the United Kingdom's 15th, New Zealand 16th, United Arab Emirates, which shouldn't even be on this list in the top 50 because there's human development. Human development, there's two sides to human development. All this is a list of which countries are most expensive and which countries the rich think that they should go to say they have social currency. It's like Dubai. It's got to be one of the worst freaking countries on the planet, as is, I would now consider Israel, Dubai, and Venezuela is the worst countries I've ever been to, okay? They're the worst. Put these at the bottom of your list. Luxembourg, Slovenia. They got Slovenia, which is just shouldn't even be there. Israel's number 25. They got Malta, but they got France at 28, which is just insane. France is up high. Cyprus is 29, which is, to me, should be about number 50 or 60. I just came from there. Qatar, they got here in the top, number 40. Saudi Arabia, 41. Portugal, they put down at 42. So much of this stuff is just horse shit that is ridiculous. They got Argentina at 48. What they're doing is they're saying really which countries they'd like to go to, and sometimes the ones that are most capable of coming up with a public relations thing. See, you got two different ways to advertise your country, and this is why it becomes funny. The countries that advertise for NGOs and aid and, like, I don't know why Israel's got people donating money to it. It's one of the richest countries on the planet. But you get a lot of Christians, you get a lot of Jewish people giving money. The United States gives money. So why are we giving one of the most richest countries on the planet money? It's insanity. But I'm going to talk now about things that define but the thing I want you to really remember is the place where they're killing journalists is the place where the freedom of speech is the worst and the most dangerous. So yeah, Palestine probably has the least freedom of speech. If you want to sit around and talk about, anything against Palestine or the West Bank, it could be very dangerous. As it is, this is not a free country I'm in, Israel. If I want to sit there, I can wear out my welcome here. Is my wash machine done? I'm going to change put my laundry in the dryer. Okay, so I'm up about $7.50 for a load. I'm probably going to get right up to $10 for a load. And I normally in Thailand, I can pay to have all my laundry done for about $5, $6. Guatemala is about $7, but they fold it up and they put it in a little bag. This is why, to me, a lot of this is hokey shit on the world of development. But what you do, if you really want to understand human development, there are 50. I did a chat GPT where I described. This is not very good, but there's 50 ways to describe a country's development. The Human Development Index is a good one, just because it's going to list out the most expensive down. So if you don't do any of the top 50 countries, you're pretty safe. There's 253 countries in my opinion, and the United Nations says there's 170 or something like that. But that just means that people didn't join the United Nations and pay ridiculous fees to be part of something that shouldn't This really should be abolished. It's not doing any good. Okay, then they got the inequality adjustment, gender development. These are all the woke things, right? Quality of life index, broad measure, gross domestic product. What you really want to do, in my opinion, is there's different words. You got underdeveloped countries, you got third world nations, then you got developing nations, and a developing nation just means it's a low developed country. And they're trying to make this woke or whatever politically correct instead of saying they're poor countries. So you got countries, but when you get below about, if you got in the Human Development Index, when you get below about, say, 80, then you start getting into the more just normal countries where there's very little inflation, deflation, whatever. Everything just kind of stays the same all the time. And then you got the countries that are, say, from 50 to 50. You got the top 50, which is just way overpriced, and Booking.com and Expedia and everything's controlling the reservation. And they're quadrupling in price because of the inflationary aspect of Booking.com and Expedia and Kayak and things. But the airfares are getting cheaper. So the good part about the world, the airfares are getting cheaper. But the Europeans are actually able to travel now with low-cost carriers. Like 25 years ago when I started traveling, Europeans didn't know anything about Europe because it was too expensive to travel. I mean, the trains are outrageous. It's like $100 to go anywhere. But now with the low-cost carrier, they can get on a plane and they'll go for 2 or 3 days to another country. So they're actually exploring Europe instead of just leaving and going to a better place. I feel very happy for the After Army group from Israel because they are the movers and shakers of this country, and they're the underlying current that basically does go out and understand what's going on in other countries. Only about 10% of these people seem to speak any kind of más o menos good English. It's very low, okay? It's extremely hard to talk to people here in English. You can find them, and I can find girls that are about 18, 22, 25 that want to talk just because they want to be, I talk to an American. That's what they're doing. But the countries with the highest industrial development, that's what you want. Industrial development means jobs, and industry needs good business laws. And there's no obvious industry here. Zero. Very difficult to see. You got a lot of farming, and I think you got some high-tech businesses, and maybe some, I don't know, money laundering. I don't know I have no idea how they make money other than they get so many donations from countries like the United States. And why the United States would ever just blanket give money to any country that's in the top 100 developed countries on the planet, I have no idea. But generally what we do, the way the United States work, the military-industrial complex, which is Eisenhower talked about it, what they do is they give, $1 billion if you buy $1 billion worth of our military stuff, or you buy $1 million worth of our Caterpillar equipment or whatever. It's not, we just don't give these countries money and let them do anything they want to do. But the Jewish people and the Christian people are giving monies to these countries, which is pretty hokey. Because United States is like number 20th on the Human Development Index, and Israel is number 25. But you want to look up words like industrialized nations. You can get on Wikipedia and you can do a search, and you can see that they're going to mix and match lists. And you don't want to just do the Human Development Index because they're trying to make it so that the LGBT people control the world, okay? But United Arab Emirates, I mean, to say that it's a highly developed country is sad. Dubai, I mean, Dubai's got to be the worst. It's the closest to hell that I've ever been on my planet in my life. It is so hot that it's ridiculous. But people want to have social currency by going to these ridiculous countries. Emerging markets, developed so there's different words. Literacy rate, which might be a good one. School enrollment. I would try to look around. Like one of the biggest signs to me of low development is the number of mothers without single mothers with babies. So the United States has a problem with this. A lot of single mothers, divorce rate with mothers that are 16, 15, 16, 17. This is a problem. Like, in Central and South America, there's a lot of mothers that are only 17, 18 years old. Uh, Infant mortality rate, life expectancy, average lifespan. Um, what I would consider a highly developed country is when you have the ability to live alone in your own residence. Like this, to me, is a very lowly developed country because it's all mass multifamily housing. There's very few people living. I don't know if I've seen any single family dwellings. Okay, there's no single family dwelling. The United States is single family dwelling. I consider New York City very lowly developed because you got homeless people. There's not that many homeless people here. There's some beggars, but it's not like California or New York City. These are low developed places because of the number of homeless people. Like Santa Fe, Costa Rica is one of the worst possible places I've ever been for homeless people. But in one way, but go back to the one thing that I really will always try to get you to pay attention to is the number of journalists getting killed. Because these countries have these marketing programs, and what they do is they create a media blitz that sets it up so that thing. And then what happens is the places where they can sell tours, like the Dominican Republic, which is a very dangerous country, pays a lot of money to the government of the United States, the people, and then they pay it to the travel agencies to promote their country, and then they deny it. It's like Mexico. Mexico is one of the most dangerous countries on the planet. Okay, it's probably the place where you're most likely to get killed. You're not very likely to get killed here in Israel. About a zero chance. I mean, they're acting like there's bombs dropping. This is, as best I can tell, Israel has overwhelming amount of military, police, and force. Okay, compared to the almost nothing of Palestine. But but who is giving them the money? Qatar, Dubai, United Arab Emirates, and all these Muslim countries in Iran are giving money to the Palestinian people so they can die. Okay, just idiocy. Okay, sanitation. As always, like I could drink the water from the fountain here. I could drink the water from the fountain in Ivory Coast. A lot of countries. One of the biggest things I think that if you really want a country to develop is make it so you can drink the water. Americans can drink the water, okay? And sanitary, like in Thailand, you can always smell the sewer because it's roaming in there, and you don't want to drink the water in Thailand. But all these things are mix and match, and it's very difficult. But what do I want you to do? I want you to look at the Human Development Index and realize that they're rating the countries by the most expensive. So the most expensive countries right now, Switzerland, Finland, Sweden, and they're trying to act like that makes them a good country to go to. Well, from the quality of life is you have the least amount of ability to move around the country, the least amount of freedom, the least amount of quality of life, the least amount of libraries. Okay, the United States, no matter what they do, has more libraries than anywhere I've ever been in the planet. And I have a friend, Rick, is always asking me about libraries, and there's just no libraries, guys. The United States has libraries. We have laundromats. We have ways for people to do. We're constantly creating a better country. What you do see now and what is happening worldwide is the corporations are controlling the governments. So this country is controlled by the corporations, which run the developments here, real estate development, in conjunction with the churches and the tourist industry and the military. They all work together to control this country. There's very little diversity here. Almost everybody either looks like little curly, ascetic, ultra Orthodox Jewish person, or just sort of normal dress. There's not like, purple hair, tattoos, or stuff like that. It's a very homogenous culture because there's very little diversity here. It's a religious country. But I want you to go to each country and try to realize, can you just get on a bus and go anywhere you want to and find a room? Like one reason why I really like Colombia now, because every single city had small little hotels that were very nice that you could live in. It was high quality of travel. The worst quality of my life is when I'm in Western Europe, because I have to get a reservation every single place. It's like here, I'm getting a reservation everywhere I go. Do you call that enough? And they're doing this with zoning laws. And what they're doing is Europe's got zoning laws that makes it impossible to start a hotel. Therefore, they raise the price, and it's just the businesses controlling the legal system. Instead of free markets, Western Europe is the least free market. The United States right now is becoming the same. It's ridiculous what's happening on the planet. I'm Andy Lee Graham. I'm here and you're not. Why not? I'm going to go put another 5 things. But this is the quality of Israel. This is Jerusalem. This is one of their star cities. I'm right off the main light rail tram thing. It's not a holy paradise place. It's Venezuela, Dubai, and Israel, the 3 put on the bottom of your list of countries to visit. I'm Andy Lee Graham.